Welcome to the Red Jacket Speaker Showcase Roundtable. I'm Bryan Hattingh, and today I'm in conversation with Roderick Nabe. I am the CEO and founder of a company called SciCan. We're a leadership actualization, acceleration, and transformation organization. And our heartbeat is to touch the lives of everyone we meet in such a way that their lives are sustainably enriched. And I'm more commonly known as a merchant of hope. So, Roderick, as I pose this to you, what is the key idea or theme you speak of?
Brian, it's really a pleasure to have an interview with you. And I speak on personal development, leadership, and skills development. Those are the areas that I focus on because as a teacher by profession, in 2016, I quit my job teaching in class and now teach outside the class. I realized that these are the biggest gaps that we have when it comes to alternative education. So I really focus on personal development, leadership, and skills development.
Roderick, do you do that across the board, or is there a level of people that you address specifically?
There's an audience that I focus on. I deal with the youth. I deal with entrepreneurs and also women when it comes to gender. I also work with women. So those are my three groups.
Why is this important now?
I believe when it comes to developing someone for success or for whatever they want in life, knowledge is really important. And personal development, I look at personal development as a foundation for all the success that we need. If someone wants to become a millionaire, someone wants to become a good leader, someone wants to become a good team player, it always starts with them. And that is why I'm very passionate about personal development, because when someone develops themselves, everything around them changes. Everything gets better when they get better first. So I believe it is important right now for someone to develop themselves in order for them to be able to accommodate and maintain and even control whatever success that they may come up. That's why I think it's really important.
And if you think about it, which audience right now would benefit the most from your work?
The audience that will benefit mostly from my work, the youth, especially those in schools, because I've realized that whenever I go to secondary schools, to universities, or when I speak to graduates who are just come from school, they're joining the job market, you realize that there's a set of skills that they lack. There's a huge gap that has not been filled in school. So our formal education leaves a huge gap that by the time they come into the job market, they feel as if they lack certain skills. So I think with people development, that is why it is important for the youth, especially those who are going to join the job market in order to serve others in different areas.
Does this and what you talk about and what you do address both the skills aspect of it as well as the heart and mindset aspect of it? So, do you change perspectives as well as equipping people with the right uh, techniques, capabilities, and ways to do things?
Yeah, basically, I use different methods from gamification. I like gamification a lot because I believe it takes us back to our childhood and it helps people learn easier. So I use a lot of gamification. I use a lecture method, not so much, but I also use a lot of group discussions, but I also developed a certain method of accountability, making my learners accountable to each other. So whenever I teach something, I create a certain system of accountability of them teaching others so that we can see how the concepts have been grasped during the learning process.
One last question. Why you?
I believe having a background in education has given me a strong position of understanding how the education system works, the formal and the informal education system. So I got to realize that there are certain gaps that formal education has not yet filled. And these are the skills that are needed outside the job market, or sometimes we tell people to think outside the box. So having a foundation of being a professional teacher, and later on doing my second degree as a law personality, LLB, a bachelor's in law. So it helped me get me to that position of understanding what really needs in the learning process and how we can implement it to become impactful in the society. So I believe I can be the best person to get these young ones and the youth learn these skills and become more valuable in the society.
Thank you so much, Roderick. And for more conversations like this centered around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, connect with our Red Jacket Speaker Showcase series and discover more expert voices sharing messages that matter.